like traffic lights in Zamfara State until we came on board. I'm also, let me even confess, we don't have a single lift in Zamfara State, but if you look at the 4-star hotel that we're building now, there's a provision for a lift. We're building an international airport. We should also have a standard airport where people can, look, Zamfara used to be, Gusau used to be a very cosmopolitan local government then, where we had all the Chinese, the North American people, very lively place. I don't know what happened that everything just turned the other way. But yes, this is the first traffic light, and it's all over now, and it will extend to other local governments.
Congratulations on the traffic lights. For breaking the ice. for breaking that ice.
And we are law abiding. If you go to the street now, you see there will be the traffic light.
We saw that.
You saw that?
Yes,
okay.
we did. Now my question is going to be, when you were answering the question about revenue and all of that,
yeah,
you talked about the payee system.
Yes.
I like to believe that in addition to that, you also probably get funding from the federal allocation.
Oh yeah, I mean, that is
given. But considering the level of work you are doing and what you have spent, I'm wondering whether mining is also not contributing to your revenue profile. If so, isn't there a question of equity here? Because mining is deemed to be a natural resource, right? Just like crude oil. Now, if crude is found in a particular part of the country and the people don't have access to it, they can't claim ownership of it, why should Zamfara claim ownership of anything found under the soil or under its soil?
Thank you very much. That has been a very, very controversial issue even at the federal level. And I remember our first meeting with the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals, Alake, that they are coming up with a framework under which mining activities will be conducted. And the question I asked him then was, yes, mining is on exclusive list. However, the land belongs to the state. So there must be some kind of collaboration and cooperation between the state and the federal government so as to understand what they are doing and what we're doing, and we marry the two together. That is one. Two, I don't have issue in terms of the revenue sharing formula because I want money. But what we're doing now, it has nothing to do with revenue from mining. We haven't reached there because I have not seen a dime from there. So, but we're getting to that level. However, we're being financial prudence. As a former banker, a former executive director of a bank, I should be able to have financial discipline. And that is why we're doing everything. All these projects that you've seen, I'm happy to tell you that I did not borrow one single dime from any financial institution. It's the resources that we utilize. And I'm happy also to tell you that for every contract that you see or project that you see in Zamfara State, the money is kept so that no project will stop. So to cut it and make it straight, we are not stealing the money.
Okay, Governor, good to hear.
Financial prudence.
Yeah, but now we're on the home run in the course of this conversation. We can stay on this for the rest of the day. So we're going to be asking general questions. We have just a few more minutes. One, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Benue today.
Yes.
And the big issue there is about insecurity and all that. And I'm sure you must have been following what's happening in Benue.
Yes.
Yeah, if you were in the same position as Father earlier, what are some of the steps you will probably take? And then beyond that, in this state, Zamfara State, you say you are the governor of everybody. And I asked you, are you also the governor of Matawale? Are you also the governor of Abdulaziz Yari? You are the first PDP person to become governor of this state, Zamfara, since return to civilian rule in 1999. What is the guarantee that those sacred forces of Zamfara, those powerful forces, will allow you to get a second term, having outsmarted them in 2023?
Let me
Or are they now your friends?
let me throw back this question to you, Ruben. In 2003, all the powerful guys in APC, the ones we mentioned, and their deputies, were they not in APC? I happen to be the only person, and yet, what happened? God has made it possible for me. So the same God that gave me power in 2003 is the same God that I rely upon to give me power going forward. That is one. Two, yes, you're right. I'm the governor of Zamfara State, and I'm the governor of every citizen of Zamfara State. There's no two way about it. Now, what I'm doing with all the projects that are ongoing is for me to leave a legacy where people will remember Dauda Lawal as the governor of Zamfara State that did X, Y, Z, that touches the lives of the people of Zamfara State. And that is why I told you when he asked about agriculture, when we're sharing fertilizer or every other implement, I made it very clear to everybody that it's not about PDP. It's about every citizen of Zamfara State, and I'm still on that. Anything that belongs to the people of Zamfara State is for everyone, and I'm on that. And power belongs to God, Ruben. Okay. So I'm a strong believer of God, and God will always do His miracle. If God says Dauda will return in 2027, nobody can turn it.
Any words of advice for them in Benue State? Benue?
The Benue State situation, unfortunately, is what all the governors, especially in this part of the country, the north, are facing. It may be peculiar to certain things, peculiar to Benue, and maybe certain things peculiar to Zamfara, but it's all about security challenges. And what we always say is we all must make conscious effort, come together as responsible leaders, and live up to the expectations of our people by protecting their lives and properties. That is what I believe in, and we still have to go back to drawing board to understand the root cause of this problem and what will be the way forward to solve this problem going forward.
You were, of course, you were in APC in 2018. You were before you moved over to
Yes,
the PDP.
yes.
Now, you are the last man standing, the last PDP governor in the Northwest. Are you worried or concerned about talk about one-party state? Are you planning to return to your home, the APC where you started from?
I'm a PDP governor, and I still remain in PDP.
You are not worried about the one-party state?
Anything. Look, let me tell you, you see, I'm a very, very contented person. Very contented. And I believe in the power of God. God does as He pleases. If God says, I will be, nobody.
But those in APC also believe in the power of God.
Well, it may be just in the mouth, but you know, it's from the heart.
One pastor said the same thing. He has not defected to the
No. Honestly,
before he reported.
You see, I'm not desperate about anything. I'm a very, very contented person. And I believe if God says you will be, you will be. Nobody will change it.
Okay, PDP has a festering crisis, and it appears that there is no solution. The governors have not been able to solve it. What are the issues? And if you were solely given the responsibility to solve the problem, what will you do?
Well, let me make a statement here. There is no party that is not in crisis in one way or the other. It may vary. Yes, PDP are having internal crisis, but these are things that will be solved. We're going to have next meeting on the 30th of this month. And part of what we're going to discuss is all those issues that are ongoing in the party. And I'm sure we'll come up with a solution. There's no problem that has no solution. So it's a temporary thing. I'm not worried about that.
What is the guarantee that the INEC will actually hold on the 30th? Because there are reports that INEC has actually turned down the notice sent to it by the national chairman of the PDP. Because the notice does not have a concurrence of the national secretary where you actually have a very big challenge that you've been unable to address?
It's an ongoing process, and I'm sure there will always be a window here and there. It's not just a one window to do this thing. So, like I said, I'm a very optimistic person. I don't get worried about crises here and there. They're part of human nature anyway. So, but what matters is remain focused and believe in what you do and deliver the dividend of democracy, just like we are doing in Zamfara State.
But Your Excellency, you're part of, or you're a member of that reconciliatory committee.
Yes.
Chaired by Bukola Saraki.
Yeah.
And you've just said that every party has its own challenge. What exactly are you guys trying to fix? What problem are you trying to fix?
Well, I'm sure Jumake, is, like I say, it's an internal thing that maybe somebody felt he was not treated the right way or that, so there's really nothing that is unsurmountable. And yes, I was part of the reconciliatory committee, and it's still ongoing and will continue until we get it resolved. And it will be resolved.
All right. Let me take you away from politics back to what should be of paramount interest to you.
Yes.
And deny it if it's possible, which is that before you came in,
Yes.
civil servants in this state were earning as high as 7,000 naira per month. That it was your regime that moved it from there to first 30,000 and something more.
Let me tell you what hit me the most when I took over. First, there was a backlog of 4-month salary that I had to deal with.
Deliberately made so.
But of course, when I checked the treasury, there was no money. And when I tell people that I made 4 million, people laugh. It's a fact. Look, I was a banker.
4 billion or
4 million naira. And true, when I came on board, the salary of a civil servant in Zamfara State was 7,000 naira. Letter 7, 6-7. And I look at it and say, how can somebody live on 7,000 naira? And that was when I implemented, after paying the backlog of the 4-month salary of everybody, political appointees, civil servant, and everything. I said, okay, look, let's jack it up to the then minimum wage of 30,000 naira. So everybody was paid 70,000 naira, and your leave allowances were paid. And in fact, I introduced 13-month salary. So that December, I was able to give civil servants 13-month salary bonus. And even during Christmas, I also gave them bonus. Now, with the minimum wage of 70,000, we have implemented the 70,000 naira both at state and local government. And we still give them 13-month salary, and we still give them bonuses.
Well, Governor Lawa, as we begin to wrap up now, let's just wrap up 2 things. One, how much have you borrowed since your assumption of office? And how much are you planning to still borrow so as to be able to meet obligations? You have told the people of Zamfara State that you are running a transparent and accountable government
System.
But how much have you borrowed? I think the people
Ruben,
would like to know.
And let me also make a categorical statement here that I, Dauda Lawal, the governor of Zamfara State, did not borrow a dime from any financial institution from 2003 to date. Today is 18th of June 2025. I did not borrow a single kobo, and I'm financially okay. Stable.
Do you still plan to borrow? Because all these projects...
Look, let me tell you, Ruben, there is nothing wrong in borrowing if you have something to do to show. But I'm against borrowing when you borrow to steal the money without any project to show. As we speak, I'm still paying the previous date of the previous administration. I can show you the document. Direct deduction of 1.5 billion naira from the previous administration. It has now gone down to 1,118 million as at last FAC allocation. Direct deduction. I'm still paying the debt. I'm still servicing the debt. I still service the debt of KEDCO. When I took over, there was no electricity in all government functions in Zamfara State, ministries and parastatal, because they are owing 1.6 billion to KEDCO, Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company. I settled that. When I took over, I did not have one single car, official car, to use as a governor. Our liaison office in Kaduna, I had to pay 600 million to take it from litigation. As we speak, I'm still doing the Zamfara Abuja liaison office because when I took over, there was nothing. Everything was taken away. But it's not my priority because I have a house living in Abuja. It's now that I'm fixing it. So I didn't borrow any kobo, and I don't plan to borrow. But if there's a need going forward, maybe. But right now, I'm not under any financial